Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Kiler Davenport here, the Lone Wolf, 6 p.m. on the clock here, somewhere on this rotating orb. If it is, in fact, rotating, we're not really sure anymore with all of this flat Earth stuff going on. Yeah, 4/29/2024. Looks like April 29th, 2024. Most of you should be getting your little puny Social Security checks that will be deflated before they even get there and practically worthless. And then with all of the groceries and things going up so sky high, you'll have absolutely nothing left after you fill the refrigerator and the pantry. What a terrible thing to think about. Yeah, well, interesting night. This is turning into a real radio station, ladies and gentlemen. From the gut, raw, unscripted, and hardcore rubber meets the road radio. That's what we are. I tell you what. And we are looking for passionate volunteers to help us grow and expand our network. If you all are interested, let me know. If you're interested in becoming a part of our community here on Lone Wolf Radio and Alternative Public Radio International, please reach out to us through our website or social media channels. And thanks for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate it. Waiting for a couple of stragglers to come in here. Tim is always here. Welcome, Tim. Yeah, Tim is here with me all the time, man. I tell you, he's my sidekick. He's my number one. And I'm looking for my number two, but I don't know where he is. He may be actually taking a number two. I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, we are here. And like I said, this stream art is really something else amazing. Restream. Where are we? Where the hell am I? Restream is something else. A lot of things. Marion's finding out a lot of new bells and whistles here and buttons and levers to pull and push to make this a lot better. We're streaming on so many channels. I don't even know how many we're streaming on, and we'll be streaming on even more next week or in the next few days, maybe. Oh, it's very rude picking your nose on air like that. But yeah, man, it's great. I mean, we're loving this. We're really loving this. I didn't think I would love Restream, coming back to Restream. I didn't think we would like it. I didn't really remember what it was about until I saw all of the bells and whistles and stuff and all of the extra like new scenes and presentations and video playback and the video capabilities. And we can run news clips and other things. I'm actually going to play a little clip here in a moment. I'm going to try to play a little clip from George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians of all time. I'm going to play a little clip of his 4 minute and 44 seconds clip and kind of give you all of those of you who love George like we do here. Tonight, we're going to be talking about continuity, getting together, working as a team, moving as a team, and building different projects and programs and special events and platforms and networks and groups and working on prototypes together and inventions and using your creative imagination and critical thinking skills to build a group platform and to increase our broadcasting power and to help out with our news team. We need some news people to come in and some researchers to come in and gather news from around the world that's relevant to shows. And what we really that has been like pulling teeth to get some good co-hosts in here. Very, very, very difficult to do. Everybody's so hypersensitive and judgmental, and everybody's such a whine baby, and they've all got problems connecting me. So anyway, it requires a special kind of group, a special kind of personality to be on a show like this. Not just anybody, and we understand that. But it's always fun when you can have a really bang, bang, bang discussion, with people about the different issues that we cover around the world, especially with what's going on, of course, in Russia with Ukraine. and China, Taiwan, Iran, Israel, Gaza, West Bank, Hezbollah, and the Houthis and the Sunnis and Shiites and all of the stuff that's happening over there. And especially the influx of millions of immigrants coming into the U.S. Incorporated and filling up our airports and plane stations and bus stations and our cab stations and streets and byways and highways and alleyways and every other way. And, it's amazing that we're allowing all of these people to come into the country just willy nilly and just rolling out the red carpet for them. And all of our people struggling here, homeless and drug addicted and alcoholics and veterans and senior citizens in need and people out there, families and children, are not really getting the aggressive help they need, in my opinion. And it's kind of tough. It's really tough. It's a tough call, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that. Hey, we need to shut the borders down. Hey, folks, we need to shut the borders down now. Just shut the borders down, and we three-quarters of these people back out of the country and send them back where they came from. Um, that would be the thing to do. But you can't. It's the West Wing over there in D.C., that District of Columbia there, that little root of whatever it is, sewage, I must say, but can't convince them of that. I think they're looking for the vote. They're just bringing anybody in willy nilly, not vetting people and just allowing them to come in, putting them up in the best motels, giving them the best food, feeding them like kings and queens, and giving them education and health care and all of these other things, and language studies and free Ubers and free transportation. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Nobody seems to be able to make sense of it at all. And it really doesn't make any sense, to tell you the truth. When you really take a look at it and put it under the microscope, you have to ask yourself, why the hell are they doing this? Well, there's a lot of opinions on that. One thing people have said is to destroy the country from within, and I agree. And the other is to get the vote, I agree. And the other is to possibly conscript these individuals into our military and have them out there when the SHT event happens, and have them move in. And when the martial law hits, they'll be the ones roaming the streets. Well, go figure. Go have a little creative and think about what that's going to look like whenever we have all of these people uh, doing this. They're not going to think twice about putting someone in handcuffs. They're not going to think twice about tasing someone or whatever, you know. And our people will. The National Guard here and the military will have, I think, a little bit more compassion for our people in these desperate times that are coming, these dystopic times that are coming. I think they'll have a lot more compassion than these foreign agents coming in from these rogue countries, third world banana republics. I think they're not gonna have any compassion at all. You see, and so it's going to be much easier to corral all of the Native Americans, the natives that have been born here and raised here, and those who have come in legally through the proper channels through immigration. So it's a bad situation all the way around. Let me play this video, see if it'll play with George Carlin. Let's run this thing up and see what we can do here with this. It looks like it's coming on.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a lively group we have here. And a good-sized audience, too. And I want to mention that this is probably, I really haven't seen this many people in one place since they took the group photographs of all the criminals and lawbreakers in the Ronald Reagan administration. Yeah. Yeah, oh. 225 of them so far. 225 different people in the Ronald Reagan administration have either quit, been fired, been arrested, indicted, or convicted of either breaking the law or violating the ethics code. 225 of them. And Edwin Meese alone has been investigated by 3 separate special prosecutors, and there's a 4th one waiting for him in Washington right now. 3 separate special prosecutors have had to look into the activities of the Attorney General, and the Attorney General is the nation's leading law enforcement officer. See, that's what you got to remember. This is the Ronald Reagan administration we're talking about. These are the law and order people. These are the people who are against street crime. They want to put street criminals in jail to make life safer for the business criminals. They're against street crime. Yeah, they're against street crime, providing that street isn't Wall Street. And the Supreme Court decided about a year ago that it's all right to put people in jail now if we just think they're going to commit a crime. It's called preventive detention. All you got to do now is just think they're going to commit a crime. Well, if we'd have known this shit 7 or 8 years ago, we could have put a bunch of these Republican motherfuckers directly into prison. Yeah. Put them in the joint where they belong, and we could have saved the money of putting these country club pin-headed assholes on trial. Another thing you got to remember, this is the group of people who were elected with the help of the moral majority. Elected with the help of the moral majority and the Teamsters Union. That's a good combination. Organized religion and organized crime working together to help build a better America. Another thing, keep in mind, these Reagan people are the ones that were going to get government off our backs. Remember that? That was the rhetoric of the 1980 campaign. We'll get government off your backs and out of your lives. Yeah, but they still want to tell you what magazines you can read, and they still want to tell you what rock lyrics you can listen to, and they still want to force your kids to pray in school, and they still want to tell you what you can say on the radio. The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, decided all by itself that radio and television were the only 2 parts of American life not protected by the free speech provisions of the First Amendment to the Constitution. I'd like to repeat that because it sounds vaguely important. The FCC, an appointed body, not elected, answerable only to the president, decided on its own that radio and television were the only 2 parts of American life not protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution. And why did they decide that? Because they got a letter from a minister in Mississippi. A Reverend Donald Wildman in Mississippi heard something on the radio that he didn't like. Well, Reverend, did anyone ever tell you there are 2 knobs on the radio? Of course, I'm sure the Reverend isn't that comfortable with anything that has 2 knobs on it. But hey, Reverend, there are 2 knobs on the radio. One of them turns the radio off, and the other one changes the station. Imagine that, Reverend. You can actually change the station. It's called freedom of choice, and it's one of the principles this country was founded upon. Look it up in the library, Reverend, if you have any of them left when you finish burning all the books.
Boy, that was fantastic. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. That's really, really fantastic. And we are back now. That was George Carlin at his best, as he always is and always has been at his best. Just unbelievable guy. I love him so much, and we miss him so much. We I don't think we'll ever have an oops connection lost. I'm reconnecting here. Yes, now. Okay, there we go. Reconnecting. I don't think we'll ever have it from that era coming back in this era. Um, it's just not happening. I mean, everything has changed in Hollywood. Everything's changed with Paramount, and everything has changed with all the other major movie studios. and they're just not making really good movies anymore, at least in my opinion. A lot of cultural change, um, and just a lot of change in general has happened. And I come from the 1960s, back in the Janis Joplin era, and all those crazy, cool, hippie things we used to do in the good old days. We call it the good old days. The good old days are gone. When I was on the farm plowing and mowing with a brush hog and disking up the land to plant the crops and putting hay fields and feeding my chickens and my cows and my horses and my mules and my guineas and pigs, and you know going to my outdoor and drinking my well water, pure wonderful well water, artesian water back then, no GMOs, and no forever chemicals, or at least not very many forever chemicals like they are now, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. We're drinking them, eating them, breathing them in, and probably taking them up into our rectum. Um, Terrible thing, folks, to think of. Really is. How things have changed so drastically and dystopically over the last 35 to 40 years really scares the hell out of me. I don't know about you. These kids coming up today, they have no idea what the good life really is, or the good old days really were. And I do. And I miss that very much. And I have that burned into my memory, how wonderful it used to be on the farm, and how wonderful it used to be to ride bareback in the rain on my horses and meet with my girlfriend down on the creek and ride for miles and miles and miles up until midnight and under the noon, and just beautiful, beautiful. And it's now we're trapped in this sardine can here of a city, and it's terrible seeing all of these zombies walking around overdosing on fentanyl. We're having to keep the Narcan handy all the time and having to revive these people. Actually, almost had another overdose today, but thank goodness it was just somebody that was really hungry and had some other kind of drug in them, staggering around and getting ready to fall down on their face. And Marianne and I jumped out and helped them, and fed them and did what we could and sent them on their way and asked them to please go to the hospital. You may need a checkup. And of course, they never will go to the hospital. They don't, because and some of them are wanted by the police or whatever, have warrants out for their arrest. And I understand all that. They happen. People make mistakes, wrong choices. And I've done it. Everyone's done it. But yeah, it's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. A brain is a terrible thing to waste. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. You've seen that commercial back in the day, for those of you who are old enough, where the brain is, the frying pan, and the egg, bang, they put the egg in there and they fry it, and they go, "This is your brain," and then "This is your brain on drugs," and then they start frying the egg up. It's a true thing. I mean, uh, brain drain is what I call it. The great brain drain is what we're going through right now, the great brain drain, not just with drugs and alcohol and fentanyl and ecstasy and heroin and meth and crack, but all of the other stuff that's going on with the forever chemicals and the mind control patents, United States patents for mind control technology, plus the chemtrails and the GMOs and all of the other stuff that's going on. Plus, we've weaponized everything. We've weaponized Social Security. We've weaponized the IRS. We've weaponized the police departments, the sheriff's departments, and the DOD, and the DOJ, and the United Nations, and the World Health Organization. Everything's been weaponized, and all of these agents on the rest asking you about your social media post. The FBI day that this would have ever happened. You have armed agents going around knocking on your doors all over the neighborhood, worried and concerned about your free speech. You're putting whoa. This is We have to talk to you about this post on Facebook that you made. Well, don't these guys have anything better to do? And girls, don't they have anything at all better to do than go around banging on people's doors? worried about what they're saying on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch or whatever, LinkedIn. Evidently not. Not. I tell you, I don't understand this at all. It's really almost impossible to understand how we could have how we got ourselves in this crazy, insane situation where everything is just inverted, everything's just turned upside down, you know, inside out. How did we get ourselves in this situation, and how are we maintaining this insanity at such a high rate, at such a high rate of speed? I mean, we're maintaining this insane machine. We're feeding this insane machine. We're actually fattening the dragon. Every day we're just making more contracts with the dragon. After all, we are the United States Incorporated, right? Ha! Yeah, at one time we were just the United States of America. But no, we had to incorporate this whole thing, where each of you have become a slave or an employee of the corporation of the United States Incorporated. So we've lost our social compact, we've lost our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and we've lost our common sense as well as our common cause as well as our common law. And of course, you've all been thrown into this rule of law, as Bush said, we do not operate in the law of the jungle, but the rule of law, blah, 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 blah. Well, it is the law of the jungle, really. It's the jungle. We're living in the jungle, Bush. Mr. Bush, President Bush, as he once was, we're living in the jungle. And if you don't believe it, just go downtown Philadelphia, go downtown Detroit, go downtown San Francisco, go downtown anywhere in New York, and you can see we're living in the jungle, folks. We're living in this massive, crazy, insane, dangerous, dystopic jungle. And people are being harmed, people are being hurt, people are being carjacked, and they're house jacked. People are robbing people in their homes and raping and pillaging and murdering molesting, and it's just insane, totally insane. I'll bloop, probably get bleeped for this, but it's true. It's true. The crime rates are rising all over the United States, and partially it's because of all of these foreigners that we've let in from these millions and millions of them. Of course, these immigrants, so-called poor immigrants, have come in, and we have to take care of them, right? Well, I agree. If you've come in legally, by all means, come on in. If you're going to follow the American way, come on in. If you're going to follow the American culture, come on in. But if you're going to come in to destroy and distract and disturb, and if you're going to come in to kill and molest and murder and rampage and carjack and break into houses and homes and businesses and start fires and create sabotage and create chaos and down planes and derail trains and burn buildings, then stay home. Don't come in. Don't come in. My answer is to go home. Goodbye. Sayonara. Hasta la vista. Go home. But no, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all. We've gotten ourselves into a situation and we're not going to be able to get out of it, folks. We're too deep in the shit. I mean, we're too deep in the shit, and we're not going to be able to reverse this at all. For all of you immigrant loving, bleeding heart fools out there, well, good for you. Go, maybe 10 or 20 of these people can move into your extra bedroom. That would be a great thing for them to move into your extra bedroom, them all running around in their underwear in your kitchen in the morning drinking coffee and making pancakes. That would be a wonderful thing. I would like to see happen to all of you, especially in the Washburn community. For all of you who are listening, in the Washburn community and communities like the Washburn community, all of you fat cats over there, all of you hypocrites and wannabe Christians, and all of you other goofballs over there. I'd love to see about 2,500 busloads of these immigrants pull into your neighborhood. That'd be a wonderful thing to see. Not going back up. I hope I'm still being heard, but there we go. We're back. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? The stuff they like to do to the truthers and the influencers who are really hot on the issues and top of the gun with the news and really know what's going on from a geopolitical standpoint around the world, around the globe, whether it's flat or round or oblong or tetrahedron or decohedron or otherwise. And this is something to talk about next week is the change in physics and the change in mathematics, higher mathematics that we're learning with the help of some of our new philosophers and scientists that are coming along. And it's going to amaze, days and days, most of you, because all our science is changing drastically as we speak. People were making fun of these scientists only a year ago, and now they're starting to change their tune, and they're starting to see that these people make sense. Um, I'm not going to talk about that tonight. I'm sure some of you are already up on that and used to what's going on. You've heard what's going on. I don't see a time clock here on my. Yeah, I do. Well, 6:26. Okay, 6:26, 4:29, 2024. As I said when I came on, but trying to put a team together here, and Marion and I have just about given up on a team. We've just about thrown in the towel on putting a team together of avatars, beings, entities, carbon forms, whatever you want to call them. Just about given up completely. We hear some of the most stupid excuses as to why people can't help us. We hear the most stupid, outlandish excuses. And people like to come on my DM and they like to put stuff on there and they like to brag and they like to write and send articles in and this and that and movies they're making and all this stuff. But they don't do anything for us really, except Billy White. I'll give Billy credit. Billy the Butcher, Wilbur Witt, um, Witt and Whittier Productions over there. Really a plug for putting articles all over his blog over there. He moved to Weebly, I think. I'm not sure. Some of you know. You can tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, give credit to Billy. I don't give credit to anyone else really. Not even some of the folks that are supposed to be here and they're not here. I don't know why. It's amazing. Marion has given them the address and given them the platform and how to get in here, and they're not here. Tim Dawson is the only one that's always here. Tim is always here, front and center, number one, on the front row, ready to go and ready to rock and roll, as he always has been for the last 20 years with me. Him and I have been together. Um, ladies and gentlemen, this thing we call teamwork, it has just become so stupid. Marion and I have just, like I said, we've just about given up on even thinking about the word teamwork. What is teamwork anyway? Nobody seems to want to really work together. Two, uh, people, just seem not to want to work together, or at least the ones that we're contacting, we're making contact with. They don't seem to understand or grasp what it is we're doing here. And it's amazing when we've written, I've written 100 articles on what we're doing here, and nobody seems to get it yet. It's like they don't even respond to the articles. They don't even respond to anything. And this is why we call them NPCs or zombies or the Walking Dead or clueless, useless air breathers and all those kinds of horrible names, which are true. If the shoe fits, wear it, baby. And I say wear it. All of you clueless morons out there who just, I don't know where you are. I don't know what's going on. I know that you've been affected by the mind control and there's some handler that has its strings on you and is pulling you and pushing you up and down and just telling you what to do and when to do it and how to do it and where to do it. You're being mind controlled and you don't even know it. You're not making any choices of your own. Most of you who have been taken over by the Borg, you're simply just following a script, and that's all you're doing. Following a script, living in your right brain, living in that emotional brain, letting that subconscious rule your life and living, and really unable to escape um, the lower boundaries of the mind and get up into the home of that. We're running on the byte computer and video 2 gigabyte RAM, 16 gigabytes, CPU Intel Core 73770. Amazing. Um, but yeah, what can I say? I'm happy with the new station. Really, really, really great to be on this new station. I love it. And Marion is learning to work with it to where I won't have to work so hard. I can play a lot of clips, a lot of news briefs. I can play a lot of breaking news clips, and I can talk about them probably eventually as they're playing. Play some of my TikTok work that I'm doing, playing my guitar, doing a little singing, whatever. Speaking of singing, we're supposed to go out tonight to a new place and sing some karaoke. That's going to be fun. I haven't been out in a while. I'm hoping our friends are going to pick us up. They may not. I don't know. Can't depend on people anymore. Can't be sure what people are thinking, what they're going to do next. Back in my day, you could pretty much depend on people, you know. These days, not so much. Can't depend on people. Marion and I, we have worked with so many people and we have helped so many people. And it seems like when we need help, that nobody's there. You know, the lights are on, but nobody's home. And it's just amazing how that works. And I can't explain it. It's way above my pay grade, evidently, outside of my uh, level of intelligence to be able to completely comprehensively and analytically tell you how that happens or why that happens. But I'm sure it has something to do with this mind control and forever chemicals and GMOs and all of these other things that we have brought upon ourselves and building this fictitious, poisonous environment that we live in right now. And most people are trapped in their little bubbles and boxes, and they're afraid to come out of their little hiding places and get involved in the real world of things, get involved in the game, get on the front line, and be involved in the game, running toe to toe with all the problems that exist, and really digging deep down, doing the research to find out what's going on around the world from a geopolitical standpoint, from North Korea to China to Australia to Libya to Kenya to Nigeria to Haiti to Somalia to wherever, France, Germany, the Falklands, Cuba. The people just don't seem to give a damn anymore. And Marion and I talk to a lot of people. I talk to more people than she does, and they all seem just to have just nothing going on up here. The lights are on, but nobody's home. The eyes are open, but everybody's blind. They cannot see. I don't know. They have ears, but they do not hear. And, that's a major problem, that we're looking at here. And something that I'm having a hard time dealing with. I think if Marion doesn't find me some really intelligent life to come on and be co host, I'm just going to retire. I really do think I'm going to retire. I need to hear other people's opinions, as stupid as they may be and as uneducated and uninformed as they may be. I'm willing to listen to all of these people. It would be nice to have folks on who can carry on a highly intellectual, highly comprehensive, and analytical discussion concerning the Matrix. What's happening in this game. And we are living in a game, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't out yet, we are definitely um, living in a game, ladies and gentlemen, and it's amazing. I tell you, it's totally amazing. People, they don't seem to understand, um, what's going on. Okay, McKill, Miltia would love to co-host with me. How do we get McKill on, Mary? Yeah, CGT. If you're on Facebook, Marion can get you on. I'm trying to navigate this as best I can. Yeah, it's MYKILL. Melissa. Yeah, I believe. It's down Boulevard. On. What platform are you speaking? Navigate over here down. Oh, Chris is here. Can I answer this? I can't answer Skype calls. I'm gonna hang that up then. Well, tell Chris how to get in. Let's go. Trying to get in, but nobody knows how. I need a. I need to give all my producers crack or something, meth. I don't know. They're all. Where are all these people, man? Where are all these people? I don't know where the hell they are. But yeah, hang on to you. We're on about 30 platforms here. It's kind of cool loving this new station with all of its little bells and whistles and levers and buttons to push and things. It's all great, man. We're just doing so much. We have music. We have other stuff going on. Speaking of music, I want to see if I can actually bring the music up. He's on FB, but I'm here for you, fam. Sober and heavy minded. Yeah. Down's here. Down's here. Yeah. Show down how to get. I think I blocked. Should I unblock down? Huh? My kill. Mykill. Militia. Militia. Leave that up to down to come up with some hood fucking ghetto name. My kill militia. You're still 13 years old. Down. My God, what are you doing, son? Get a real. Yeah, he's on FB. Largest spy network in the world. They're over with the CIA. He's on the CIA platform. Oh, Marion sees you. She's yeah, she's digging, researching. She's down there doing all the deep analysis now. That's cool, man. That's really cool. It's really nice that other people can hear us over here, and please give us your opinion on what's going on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. Chris is calling. Can you tell Chris to figure out what the hell to do to get on the show? Poor guy. Is he retarded? Huh? We have people that are kind of I don't know what they're smoking. Down might know what they're smoking. Calling Sky, telling them down. Check your throat to get on with me now. Wu Tang, Poo Tang, man. You know what Poo is? You're nothing but Tang, buddy. You're on the Poontang family. That's all you are. You're Poontang. A war gun. Militia, my ass. You're in the Poontang militia. Tell Chris how to get on. Are all these people smoking something? I know Down's not smoking no more. He's not doing nothing wrong. I know Down's got to be sober as a fish, man. Straight as an arrow, man. Amazing. Marion's after you over there, Down. She'll find you. She'll pull you in. She'll tell you how to get in. And then I'll see you pop up here, man. It'll be like, bang. Wow, there's Down Boulevard. Man, how cool is that? Yeah, finally got the station, ladies and gentlemen. Got away from that damn Block Talk Radio crap, man. They were killing me over there. Down. Talk about Down Boulevard. The show was down every night. Crashed. They admitted that they had their whole system was crashing. So we had to build a new station, man. So I love it over here because we're on so many platforms. It's amazing. You know, we're going to grow to 35, 40, 50. Down, she put you up. She put the link up there. So go find it and hit it and come on in. Give it to Chris, too. Okay. Chris will. I hope they're just going to pop on because I don't want to babysit these guys. I don't want to pablum puke anybody. It showed up in my box. So I hit that. So Chris is on now. Okay. So there's Chris. Okay, he's here. Chris is here. That's cool. There's Chris right there. Yeah, he's on. Chris, are you here?
Yes,
How
I
you
am.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
About damn time, son.
I know it. I know it. And getting a new co-executive director for Hope Denver right now.
Yeah, man. What happened to
And
you,
I
dude?
shared the link with him, so he's probably going to come on the show here.
Who?
His name's Jeff. His name's Jeff. He's my new co-executive director.
Oh, how cool is that? Co-executive director. Okay. So yeah, man, that's cool. We have just been talking about the new station. and how big it is, and how massive it is, and how cool it is, and how complex it is with all of its inner workings and all of its gadgets and buttons and levers and you know all that kind of stuff. But we're learning, we're learning, we're learning. It's a great thing. We can run news clips, we can run advertising, we can run all kinds of text and PDFs and just anything we want to do. Really, we can do it here, so it's pretty cool. Expecting Down Boulevard to pop on here in a minute. So yeah, it's been great, man. And we've been working on fentanyl. Man, this fentanyl, I got a whole white dust lesson, and that was a trip, man. We got a hold of some of this really dangerous stuff that if you even touch the bag, which I did, you die. And I was like brushing my hands off really fast, you know. I didn't want to die, but yeah, this stuff's all over the place up here, man. I mean, people are staggering around all over the place, falling down and passing out and going into a coma. You know, this is normal for us up here. We open our door in the morning. Most people see, you know, their kitty cat and their dog running in the yard. We see zombies running everywhere. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing kind of shit going on up here. We're in zombie, but of course, Philadelphia has been over. Detroit's been taken over. PA's been taken over. Boston's been over. You know, California, New York has been taken over. Wyoming, the cartels have moved into Wyoming, Utah, Washington State. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. And as I was saying before, you know, millions and millions of these illegals coming in, you know, destroying the country. We're on high alert right now. A military base was attacked this morning. I guess you all heard about it. Some guy some guy ran through all the barricades in the first set of barricades at the military base, and then he ran over those and made it, and then they put up the second uh, set of barricades, and damned if he didn't run into those at about 100 miles an hour, and the car blew up, had TNT or something, C4, whatever. The damn thing blew up and it just incinerated him. And of course, it was an act of terrorism, you know. And so it's just crazy. It's insane. And now all of the military bases are on alert. They've got bombers in the air right now, you know, heading at heading east actually. Yeah, heading east, and they're flying over all of those military bases to make sure that there's not incidents happen. Um, Chris, you have anything to say? Jeff, anybody want to say anything on the show tonight? We're on about 25, 30 platforms tonight, so you got a lot of people listening. You have anything interesting to say?
Well, I'd love to say, welcome, Jeff. And uh, he lives here in Illinois, but he's in Denver, Colorado right now. So,
Uh huh.
of course, I love the fact that we're all over the place. Whenever comes in here, he'll be in another state. Um, but this bait about the bases and what was going on with that. So it was kind of nice hearing that. But yeah, I'd like to see if Jeff would like to have anything to maybe say hello.
Yeah. Nice to meet everybody, and I appreciate it. I was intrigued by your statements that you make. I love podcasts like this where you're sharing a lot of information with folks that perhaps they didn't hear. I've been working with Chris just a short time now, and we're looking to solve problems, big problems like this, right? Problems that will impact the human condition in a positive way. So right now, my ears are on, right? And I keep saying, guys, that I'm drinking out of a fire hose the size of a house right now, but I'm absorbing it really fast. So keep on talking. I'm listening. If you guys ever have any questions for me, just let me know. You guys still there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here. I'm here. I lost connection for a minute. Wait a minute. It'll reconnect. There I am. I'm back. I lost connection there for a second.
I did
Am I back?
too. I thought I didn't realize I was
Yeah.
on mute, so I'm here. Thank you.
No, I wanted to stress that the FBI and Homeland Security and the Department of Defense and has been sending us all of these alerts, and they're expecting some really willy nilly, crazy, dystopic kind of shit to come down the pike here real quick. Like an EMP, I guess, is the biggest threat we have right now is an electromagnetic pulse. We came through this fake solstice bullshit, and we came through this fake eclipse and all this crap, that NASA put on a big show for. And now they're really worried at the Pentagon. They're walking the floor there at the Pentagon and over at Langley. Some of my sources over there tell me that they're having, oh my God, they're having a fit. I mean, we could have an EMP at any moment now that would just knock out the United States completely. I mean, they're not going to just look at part-time stuff. I mean, they're looking at bang, 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 the whole damn thing going. And that's going to set us back to the 19th century. People don't have what's going on. These people don't have a damn clue. Most people have no idea what's going on geopolitically. And they're just dumb as a box of rocks. They're clueless, air breathing zombies. As I said at the beginning of the show, America is one of the dumbest damn countries in the world, with as far as the American people are just dumb as a box of rocks. I have a couple of Frenchmen I was talking to this morning, and a couple of Germans, and a couple of people from Qatar and Turkey. And we were talking, and they were just like, "Oh my God, you guys are retarded over there." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are." The DC, go to DC. Look at Ukraine, man. We've funneled what $2-3 trillion to Ukraine, only to be funneled back to our politicians and putting it in their bank accounts and their foundations. And the lobbyists run the thing. We were talking about lobbyists this morning. If you go to DC, you got 5, 6, 700 lobby offices right around DC there, the White House, and they're running the whole show. They're running. Lobbyists are running the whole country. There's not a senator, governor, or mayor, nobody is running anything. They're just enjoying their paycheck. And of course, they get some big positions there with Moderna or Pfizer or Johnson and Johnson when they retire, so they're not worried about anything. They're just kicking back, drinking the Mai Tais and the martinis, the whiskey sours, and enjoying all the prostitutes and the pole dancers while they live out their little existence there in D.C. while the lobbyists make all the big rules and while the World Economic Forum tells everybody what to do, and the World Health Organization, of course, with Klaus Schwab and Harara over there running the goddamn world, and along with the FCC, took our internet away from us a few months ago. As you all know, they made a little vote there, 3-5, and took over the internet. So we have a state-owned internet now, which is crazy, which I predicted years ago, and people said, "Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. That'll never happen." Well, it happened. It's a state-run media, huh? Click over to the screen. Uh, down here. Oh yeah, that would make sense. But anyway, yeah, I predicted all this stuff. The World Health Organization's running the world. Okay, not just the United States. They're running the world, and along with the World Health Organization, there with the old boys and girls there at Davos, and I guarantee you it's a big country club and you ain't in it. So don't expect to get invited anytime soon to the Davos group there any more than you would be invited to, um, the Council of Rome or whatever, Trilateral Commission, Council Foreign Relations, whatever. So yeah, it's a bad situation. I've been talking to different cultures, different religions, different groups, Muslims, Buddhists, Taiwanese, Southeast Asians, people from Vietnam. They all agree. Panama just went dictatorship on us. My friend George down there in Panama was last year was inviting me.
You kind of popped out or froze. I'm not sure what happened with you. Hey Jeff, are you froze up too?
No, but he's froze. I can hear you just fine, but I can't hear him.
Okay. Well, I'll pick up until he comes back on. I was like, I just seen him come to a stop and no sound. And it's one thing of this talk show here. we want to talk about the things that don't get talked about, things that they don't know. And we have issues. I mean, it's the stuff that.
You
There,
guys
you're
are
coming
back.
back. All right,
You
brother.
guys are back now. Yeah, yeah. Panama's turned into a dictatorship. We know Canada's dictatorship, and terrible situation. True, that little Trudeau, which is the student of Klaus Schwab and his little queer buddy Harara there, they're running the world, and which just came out, by the way. Our old computer, antiquated computer, was running at uh, uh, 1 billion quinperimeters per second, and this one is running at something like 7 billion quintillion zillion perimeters per second. They've outpaced the brain, a million percent, of course. And now they've got the, it doesn't have hematomas, it doesn't have several hematomas, it does, they'll stroke out. So AI is with us forever, and of course it's the new God. I mean, my God, this thing is so smart. It's smarter than all the planet as far as we know. It can calculate, 1,000 PhDs in math in 15 seconds. It can do more work than 1,000 PhDs can do in 10 years. So go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Why are people losing their jobs all over the world, all over the United States? AI. AI. They don't need people anymore. They don't need these old avatars anymore. These old worn out avatars in the simulation who have a runny nose. Their wife is bitching at them and hangover, and they got an upset tummy. And well, AI doesn't do that, folks. So what would you do? What would you do? Bring in AI. Marion and I got sick of talking to teams, trying to put a team together, trying to put a team together. As George Carlin would say. And well, that's practically an impossible feat today, to put a team together. I mean, we just brought in AI agents. We just brought in agents. I mean, they're perfect in every way. They're smarter than 10,000 people. One agent, can do more work in 20 minutes than 100,000 people could do in a week. So why not bring in agents? How many of you are using agents? How many of you are using GPT-5? How many of you are calculating with these new technologies? Anybody want to speak up on that? We are.
Yeah, I work for Cisco Systems, so we obviously that CISCO, so router switches. We use a lot of AI. AI is
Yeah.
almost ingrained into every product now. If it's technology, it's going to have some form of AI and analytics in it.
Yeah.
It still can't do. It still can't do, and I'm not saying it's not coming, but it still can't do human heart and human emotion very well. So the things that require some
Well,
feeling and some emotion, it's not
well,
really
the
good at
new
that, but it's coming. Deep learning is
the
it's
new
almost
the
here.
new world order, the cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, the Matrix doesn't require that. The world order doesn't require any of that. Making a lot of money and extorting a whole lot of fucking people doesn't require any compassion or heart or emotion or anything like that. So we don't. They don't need that. They don't need that. They're not going to program it that way. And if they do, it'll just be a fluke, and you can buy that kind of shit at the dollar store or something for your child. I don't know. They don't need that. That's not what it's about. I mean, granted, Elon Musk has come out with some beautiful stuff with the occipital lobe chip, and he's helping a lot of quadriplegic, a lot of folks with brain disease, and people that are blind, people. People that can't hear, having difficulty, groups and the groups like I used to work with. Elon sold out, and that's okay, man. That's okay. That's what it's all about, man. It's money, power. I mean, Bill Gates did the same thing. They came in and said, "Hey, Bill, we'll give you $100 million if you'll just let us take over all these platforms and Google did the same thing. Google is just one massive fucking spy machine. That's all it is. Google is the most dangerous goddamn platform in the world. And Facebook is the most dangerous platform in the world, and LinkedIn, is the most dangerous platform in the world. Why don't we just say every platform is the most dystopic, dangerous platform in the fucking world? There's no privacy. There's nowhere to go. They're listening to you. If you've listened to the 100 interviews I've listened to Edward Snowden and read all of his books, the phone's listening to you when it's off. It's listening to you when it's on. Your computer's listening to you when it's off or on. Alexa's listening to you, your kids, you and your wife having sex in the bedroom. If you have Alexa, if you have a smart doorbell, it's listening to you. If you have a smart toaster, smart refrigerator, it's listening to you. Everything is listening. Everything is listening. New Hampshire just came out with these new cameras, and they have audio on them. They have, they're Atlanta, Georgia came out with these things, and Big Brother's there, baby. There's a billion cameras there, like China. They're listening to you. You can't even go down the street anymore with your kids. They're listening to everything you're saying. They're watching your facial profiling you. Can't even go out in your front yard and play football with your kid anymore. They're facial profiling you down to your underwear stripe. They know where you've been, where you're going, what you're thinking, how you're thinking, why you're thinking. So it's really dystopic, and a lot of people just can't handle it. It's like overwhelming to them. We talk about this a lot on the show, and people say, "I don't talk to you anymore." I've got to go. I've got to go. I can't take this. And a lot of people just don't want to realize that we're in a simulation. And this is why they use game theory on everything that they're doing in the calculations. We're living in a simulation, and we're living in a simulation, building a simulation that's building another simulation that's building another simulation. So that's exactly how it works. It's just a loop that we're in. And if you look at some of the very analytical, highly analytical, comprehensive analytical socio psychological paradigm programs that stratify all data points and the variables, you'll see that all of these regime avatar regimes, these simulations, they go up, they come down, they go up, they come down, they go up, they come down, and it's all the same. I mean, it's just on all the time. I mean, how much non-reality can you take? How much can you do in one bell curve? Sine, cosine, if you want to do the math. Can only go so far, and then you're going to crash. You go so far, and then you're going to crash. You go so far, and then you're going to crash. This has happened millions of times, in millions of years, possibly trillions of years, or quadrillions, or quintillions of years. And people just don't get it. They think the world revolves around them in 2024, and that we're, the earth is round and we're the center of the universe. And people still believe in this stuff. And, go back and read Aristotle. Go back and look at Plato. Go back and read Niels Bohr. Go back and read Einstein. Go look at the calculations of all of these famous physicists and even the new physicists, which are, as I said in the show, exchanges and photons and quarks and muons. And so making a lot of changes. The math is fixing to blow everybody away. There's a lot of new discoveries coming out of CERN. There's a lot of new discoveries coming out of some of our whistleblowers. There's a lot of new discoveries coming out about our math is all wrong. We've been taught, we've been lied to about math all these years. You guys are going to get it here pretty soon. I mean, it's going to come. Any questions? Any comments? Jeff, any comments from your end on this crazy stuff that's going on?
Yeah, I'm not as close as to it as you are, Kiler. Am I saying your name right? I want to make sure I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not as close to it as you are, but I can tell you I was in the military for 7 years, and I have absolute firsthand experience on what the government, that was all top secret, but what they keep hidden from the civilians, what they keep hidden from the world, and what they actually do. And I'll leave it at that because, as you say, the ears are always on.
Yeah. And I just took my diabetic shot. If you guys saw me shooting this in me, it's not some kind of a drug. It's my diabetic stuff that I take. It's Trulicity. Kind of keeps me alive. Um, yeah. And you guys are getting the crumbs off the table. All of you guys here are getting crumbs off table. You're just like little kids in a wading pool. I mean, going on with, Air 51, Groom Lake, stuff that's going on with all the 163 top secret military bases and the Black Ops and the space program. That stuff is a gazillion miles away from anything that you could even comprehend in your wildest imagination or nightmare. I mean, it's so fucking far away. It's not even visible, man. you know, and they're giving you guys these fucking toys. They're all toys. I'm running on a 2 terabyte tower. It's a toy. It's a toy. It's like a kid's rattle. I mean, these guys are running. AI is running everything now. I mean, AI is self-assimilating, self-maintaining. AI is self-aware. It's sentient to a degree. It's conscious to a degree. We don't even understand what consciousness is. So how can someone say that NVIDIA or whatever, Google didn't come out with a conscious being, and the guy got fired for saying, "Oh, she's conscious, she's conscious, she's conscious," and they said, "You got to keep this top secret. You got to keep a lid on this. Don't take it out in the public." Well, he did, and he got fired, and he went public, and so that was even crumbs off the table. I mean, that project was crumbs off the table project. You're not ever going to hear or be read into the ultra top secret, 27 levels above top secret, what's going on out there with the new space program or with the forever chemicals or with the mind control technology. I've got 2,700 mind control technologies under U.S. patent sitting now. Chris heard this on the show. Chris and I have read these things. You're all under mind control technology. You're all living under this, that if the chemtrails weren't bad enough with the selenium and barium and strontium and graphene oxide and CRISPR technology and mRNA manipulation along with strontium 137, 127, and along with nanobot technology and transhumanistic tendencies to control your behavior and your attitudes. My God, it's all happening, folks. Well, Chris has even said, I don't even know if I'm talking to Kiler Davenport. I don't even know if I'm saying what I would be saying if I wasn't mind controlled. I mean, who knows? Who knows? And I've always said, I do teach on this show how to avoid things like that and how to come out of that mind control and how to escape somewhat from that particular enslavement in the Borg, in the Matrix. There are ways that you can kind of slip through the fence and get out away from that type of thing. Um, but it's hard. It's very, very hard. Very, very difficult to do. Most people don't know how to meditate or Tai Chi or martial arts. Most people do not understand deep breathing exercises that some of the natives do in Tibet, where I've been. People don't understand these things in the metaphorical, the ontological, the metaphysical. They don't understand mind-brain connection. They don't understand the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. They don't understand how the visual cortex and the auditory and the kinesthetic, all of this information, which we know now is something I'm not going to talk about tonight, very complex. We're taking in only just a fraction of the spectrum that's lost. But you're seeing a fraction of what you call reality. You've never seen reality. None of you here have ever seen reality. None of you here will ever see reality. None of you here will ever see an ultimate truth. None of you here will ever find the prime directive or the source or the DOS or the substrate that's running this damn thing. We don't know what's running it. We don't know who's running it. We do know if we go back to the Babylonian and the Syrian and the Greek and the Aramaic and we go back to the Egyptian, we go back to the Mayans and the Aztecs and beyond, we start to see extraterrestrial involvement everywhere in everything. We see the flower of life and the tetrahedron and you know, um, the decahedron, and we see all of these geometric shapes coming out of the flower of life. We see extraterrestrial involvement, even in the Bible, as fictional as the Bible is, full of bullshit. The New Testament, Old Testament, total bullshit. We see extraterrestrial with Ezekiel. We see extraterrestrials with Solomon. We see extraterrestrials with Solomon's wife. We see extraterrestrials with the sun. We see extraterrestrials with the terrestrials with the Holy Grail, which was the what do they call it? The the thing they carried around.
Ark of the Covenant.
Getting a little here. The Ark of the Covenant
Ark of the
was
Covenant.
the Ark radiation. It was killing everybody. I mean, if you look at your history, go back and really study hard, it was killing everybody. It was just wiping everybody out because it was radiation. Radiation. It's full of. That's another story. That's a whole study it yourself by listening to Paul Wallace and listening to Dr. Billy Carson. If you want to know all about that kind of stuff, you can listen to Dr. Billy Carson. You can listen to Paul Wallace. But we're living in a simulation. We do not live in a physical real world. That is bullshit. And once you all learn that we're living in a simulation, we're living in the matrix, and we are a simulation creating a simulation coming out of about a million zillion simulations, then you'll start to change your perspective on everything. You'll start to change your perception on everything. When you learn that from a Buddhist standpoint and many others, we live in the present moment only. There is no past, there is no future, never happened. We live in the present moment. We live in the now moment. Very few of you have ever lived in that now moment. You're so busy thinking about what you did yesterday or what you're going to worry about tomorrow. You don't exist except the now moment. And of course, we live in what? Energy, frequency, and the dynamics of what? Energy, frequency, and vibration in the spectrum. Okay. So we're pure energy, and we don't even know what energy is. And now we're finding out that all of the fusion that's coming out of the sun is actually being controlled from external into the sun. So we're learning all of these new things with the physics that we're seeing with the Hubble telescope and beyond. We're finding out all of these different things. There's no straight line in math anymore, we know. Everything is curved. It's impossible to have a straight line. There's no such thing as a straight line. And so it's changing our math, it's changing our calculations. 1 times 1 equals what? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you'll be hearing some of this stuff on my next few shows. We're going to be talking about the new founding mathematics, engineering, and computing and everything around the world. Chris, any comments?
Well, one thing, I was sitting here in my mind, and I was thinking, talk about the mind control and those, and you didn't define, how we did it that day on the show, but we're looking at what 3,500 different patents, and
U.S. patents.
We just picked some out of random, and we wrote down like 45, and then 6 or 7, and read off these 6 or 7. That those 6 or 7 could totally control my life. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, have I really ever had a thought? Thoughts that I have were they generated by sounds, thing that is
Right.
electronic around me, something that I'm holding always,
Well, if you
And
talk, if you bring the top
it's
neurologist along with the top physicist, if you bring them together with the top computer scientist, you'll see that it's possible to have free will or free choice. It's just impossible. It's a fallacy. It's a ridiculous fallacy. It's silly. It's not even possible to have free will or free choice. It's impossible. And there's two ways I'm not going to go into on the show tonight because it's so doctorate level. And I don't want to scare anybody off. They've probably already been scared off, but I don't want to go into that doctorate level. You know, I'm getting my doctorate in uh, sociology and psychology, and also have a master's in neurolinguistic programming and master's of communication. So, um, you know, it's very, 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 very complex thinking that, oh, I have free will. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I'm going to go to Dairy Queen and I'm going to. No, you're not. That's not even possible. Not even possible for you to even go anywhere. People think they can go from point A to point B. That's
well,
impossible in a
you know,
simulation.
that's what's funny.
Go
You know,
ahead.
you were also talking about the the cameras, and that happens to be one of the things that Jeff's company does,
Uh huh.
technology to the smart parts
Uh
of
huh.
the city.
Hmm.
Now, the thing here, they have cameras on poles downtown, party and everything, and they have parabolic microphones on them. They can
Hmm.
zero in on whatever that camera is pointed at and down the street, and they can hear
Hmm.
everything that's being said. They're and they move 360 degrees. They can see everything. And the funniest part is my mom happened to fall two of these 16 feet away from one of them
Hmm.
with a town watching. It was almost 100 degrees outside. It's like, and
Hmm.
she fell and broke her elbow and laid on the
Hmm.
ground. Drove by
Yeah.
her. They walked by her. They got out of vehicle, got out, and walked by her
Yeah.
because of the way they think about the maybe sleeping on the street.
Right.
Now we're talking about my mother that was a half a block away from her house. I made her an appointment, and she was going to the appointment. Now I never have an appointment on her own, and I haven't let her since. But it was
Yeah.
because my mom laid down. She had broke her phone when she fell, and she couldn't even call me. And a lady that was out of town, lived in Springfield, she was of our town, and she helped my mom to
Hmm.
make the phone calls to get us there.
Right.
And they
Right.
and that camera was there, and we were paying the officers to watch these things. And my mom just sat there, and they did not respond because they were treating this woman that just fell down. And that's
Let me
how
um,
disgusting this town.
let me say something that just came to mind. I've been in one of the most sophisticated situation rooms in the world at one time when I was with certain folks doing contracts, running certain missions, had access to certain things that I don't have access to anymore. And I want to tell you, especially Jeff might know something about this, is the situation rooms are full of computers on the wall. And it's just like on, I mean, they have 1,000 computers there, you know, and they have 1,000 computers there. People are working.
Kyler, it
Working
seems like
on,
every time,
and they have
Kyler,
different.
every time, Kyler,
Are you okay?
Kyler,
Are you
time,
okay? I'm back. I'm back.
I,
So this, the situation room. There's a zillion computers, people are working on, and there's a zillion screens on the wall, and all of these screens are divided up into different continents and different sectors and different vectors and different geographical calculative type analysis, and they've got information on everyone, what's going on. They've got agents on the ground watching you. They've got assassins watching you on buildings. They've got people that are waiters. They're cookie bakers. They're the guy with the balloons at the hot dog stand. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. I've been on these missions. And we've got safe houses, and they know where we are. They know what we're doing. They know where our satellite. They can travel. They can bring in other agents from other places to take us to different places. They can take out certain vehicles that might be following us that are enemies. They can take them out from space with a direct energy weapon, or they can take them out from a ground source assassin that's along our particular route that we pre-planned. People don't understand these kinds of things. They don't think like this. Jeff, do you have any comments about what I'm saying?
Was you asking
Uh,
Jeff or me?
yeah,
Go ahead,
just
Jeff.
Jeff,
just a little
Jeff.
for sure, for certain. There's definitely the situation rooms. I haven't heard about them leveraging the technology to the degree that you're talking about, but relative to what Chris was talking about, absolutely. In the larger cities, there are microphones on those that are tuned to detect distress. So a woman screaming, for example, or gunfire or
Yes,
something to that effect. And certainly, if they've got
yes,
for that,
yes,
and that's the way they pass it by the community. If they can use it for that, then certainly they can listen to others
yes.
the things as well, right?
They say, oh, we can hear a gunshot. The AI can determine a gunshot from a firecracker, blah, 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 blah. They can determine a woman crying from a baby crying or whatever. And so they can,
They've been able to do that for years, by the way. They've been
yeah,
able to
yeah,
do that
yeah,
for
yeah.
years.
Yeah, for years and years and years and years and years and years. I mean, Russia was transplanting brains, 60 years ago. People say, oh, look what we're doing over SpaceX. Oh my God, look at how it's growing. I'm like, folks, you're 100 years up. Please, on this show, wake the hell up. Do your research. Don't come on this show telling me some shit that's 100 years old. I don't want to hear it. And it's just ridiculous. People are ridiculous. They don't have the imagination or the critical thinking skills or the deep, deep, deep learning research. They don't understand machine learning. They don't understand AGI, artificial general intelligence, and how that differs from basic AI. And they don't understand that these computers now, we don't need avatars anymore. We don't need to write Python anymore. I don't need to sit down and write 25,000 lines of Python or HTML. The computer does it for me in 20 seconds. What I used to do in 3 weeks or 8 weeks, the computer does amazing. And to sit back to the situation room, they can predictive programming right now. They're doing predictive programming. It's amazing what they're doing with predictive programming and how this works with the simulation. They can tell now if a child, they've installed all these computers during COVID. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but they reinstalled computers at all the schools and cameras at all the schools during COVID. And they made out like they were doing some remodeling, right? They weren't doing remodeling. They were putting in systems that are able to completely analyze these children to tell exactly whether they're going to be a serial killer, a rapist, a homosexual, a transvestite, if they're going to play rock music or country music or be president of the United States or run for office. They know everything by the time the kid's 8 years old. And it's amazing what AI can do. It's amazing what AI can do. And that's why I say it's all a simulation. It's all a simulation. And the situation room is so amazing, folks. They're listening to conversations. You should hear this. I mean, you think that the old something, let me tell you, the Cherokee, the Lakota, these computers are listening to voices all over the world. They're listening to someone who's going to sabotage a train or take down a jet or fire on a military base, you know. And then I have people ask me all the time, well, if they can do all of this stuff, why can't they stop the drugs in my neighborhood? Why can't they stop the fentanyl from coming into my neighborhood? Why can't they stop this and stop that? Well, they don't care about that. Listen to me, folks, tonight. Listen, they don't give a shit if your child is dying on fentanyl. They don't give a shit if your child is smoking crack. They don't give a shit if your child is robbing banks or molesting children. They don't give a shit about anything. All they give a shit about is them. George Carlin said it best. They got a country club, and baby, you ain't in it. Okay? And that's the truth. Okay? They're destroying America from within right now. We're destroying America from within with all of this Marxist, leftist, socialist, transhumanistic bullshit. Pronoun 104 pronouns I looked at yesterday. Oh my God. Who would have thought? Oh, there's no male, no female. You'll go to jail for saying that now. Yeah, the FBI will be knocking on your door. We have 102, 103, 104, whatever pronouns now. You could be a kitty cat. You could be a doggy. Mental health. I went to mental health the other day. I saw the male restroom. I had to go to the bathroom. I saw the male restroom, and I was heading that way. And I looked up on the wall, and it said, multi-transhumanistic transsexual bathroom upstairs. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I asked my clinician, what is that? And she wouldn't answer me. She kept saying, the children's bathroom is over there. The children's bathroom is over there. The children's bathroom is over there. I said, what is that sign right there? Have another. Whoa, dude. She wouldn't answer me. So I went up there, and some old lady that worked in janitorial said, "Oh yeah, that's where men can go in the bathroom with little girls, or women can go in the bathroom with little boys, and it's all mixed up." And I'm like, "Are you shitting me? Here in my town, this is happening?" She's like, "Yeah." And so I'm like, "Well, join the party, right? Let's celebrate." Um, so everything is topsy turvy, and let me re-emphasize: they are destroying America from the inside out. The goal of the communist originally, and the socialist, of course, and the leftist is to divide the family, divide friends, divide coworkers, divide corporations, compartmentalize everything. They don't want people getting together like us that are smart and critical thinkers, and we ask the hard questions, like what is consciousness, the hard question. They don't want us getting together, and believe it or not, they will keep us apart. Chris and I have actually witnessed this. AI has actually tried to break Chris and I up, and Chris will now think about it and go, oh my God, he's right. I told Chris this would happen. I tell everybody I meet, including everybody, that this is happening right now. They do not want Chris and I to get together and come up with a bang wang daffy apple tango idea to house a bunch of homeless people and help a bunch of alcoholics become straight again, or drug addicts to become healthy again, and to build wonderful places and spaces for all of these people. They just don't want that to happen. Come on in. They just don't want that to happen. So, Chris, what's your take on that? They're here to divide, they're here to conquer, they're here to separate, they're here to create havoc and dystopia, and they're here to destroy America from the inside out. And it is working perfectly through Agenda 21, Agenda 30, and Agenda 50.
The the thing about it is saying
this boss man
something in the show, we wind up losing, not hearing what you're saying, and then you'll come back, and then just lost Jeff. He lost his connection. They
we lost
cut
Jeff.
him off.
Yeah,
No, he
they
lost
Jeff off
he
on purpose.
They
cut him off on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They cut him off on purpose. That's the key things about us paying attention. Said, what is being blocked from you being heard? I'm talking about things, but none of us heard none of it. And then you would come back and so I've been watching it through the whole show. But I know for a fact that as they did not they stopped,
Yeah.
his connection, just dropped him, and he's
I
like,
want
I can't get back on.
I want to announce to the world Screaming Crow is on the scene. That's all I'm going to say. He is here with me right now. My brother, my best friend, and my former co-host is here with me right now. They dropped Chris too. See, they're banging us out, man. They're shooting us down like ducks. Screaming Crow. They're shooting us like fucking ducks. It's a duck shoot. So there's Chris again. Okay, so Chris, did you drop or did they drop you? What happened there? What happened?
No, that was me. I hit the arrow button on my
Okay,
phone, and
okay, you stupid idiot. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's what my French friend says to me. You stupid idiot.
stupid
By the
idiot.
way, the French have a temper. I didn't know these French folks had such tempers. Oh my god. Oh my
Hey,
god.
I'll tell you
I'm
what.
never going to France. What?
Watch Deuce
What?
Bigelow, the male
Deuce Bigelow,
gigolo.
male gigolo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and you will
yeah. My
see
friend, my
him in
friend is
Amsterdam.
all. My friend Bruno is always right. You're always wrong. He'll be you'll be talking and he'll no. You don't understand. You don't understand. No. Let me tell you how it is. No. I'm like, God damn, what are you doing? Leave me alone. Can I talk? And he's like, no. I have to tell you how it works. No. I have to tell you. I'm like, oh my god. I love him to death, but the French. He tells me that all the French are like this, and when Americans have a space when we talk. Like, well, Screaming Crow and I don't. We'll hug and just because we're best friends, but most Americans have an arm's length. Okay, if you get within that space, they don't like it, right? French people are fucking nose to nose. They're French. Might as well be French kissing. They're spitting on each other. And they're and I had to get used to Bruno because he doesn't understand. I said, dude, you're in America. You need to back off a little bit. He's like, no. So anyway, I'm learning about this French culture, and it is bizarre. It is interesting. By the way, France has fallen. He doesn't want to go back home. France has fallen. Germany's fallen. Finland's fallen. Sweden's fallen. Finland went with NATO. God damn it, Switzerland went with NATO. They're all bowing to NATO now. They've all given up. But look, we're going to go. Screaming Crow's here. I want to have a conversation with him. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe we're on 30 platforms tonight almost. It's unbelievable. And I love all of you very much. And to have the station back is just Screaming Crow. I know he's excited. He's here. He's going to be back on with us pretty soon. And to have all these platforms and to have news, have the ability to advertise and monetize, and to have the ability to run George Carlin like I did a while ago. I mean, let me do it again for you, Chris, just before I go talk to Screaming Crow. Let's listen to this real quick, just a couple of minutes of it.
Thank you. This is a lively group we have here. And a good-sized audience too. And I want to mention that this is probably I really haven't seen this many people in one place since they took the group photographs of all the criminals and lawbreakers in the Ronald Reagan administration. Yeah. Oh.
The sound ain't coming through.
225 of them so far. 225
Okay.
different people in the Ronald Reagan administration.
Okay, I'll rack that out. We'll do something else. The sound's not coming through. Marion's going to have to fix that one. But anyway, we've got the capability now. Marion will have to learn how to get the audio clicked into that. We're going to be running OBS too. So the fact is, we're expanding so quickly, and I'm so happy to be doing that. And I'm so happy also to be talking to these world leaders now through this group that I'm with. Chris knows who I'm talking about, but talking to the Brazilian prime minister and talking and turn Qatar, and it's just a wonderful thing to be in these kind of these kinds of so intelligent, and into circles now. where they give you $1 million and it's like me going down to McDonald's buying a malt. I mean, it's just stupid, stupid money they've got. And so I'm glad to be moving into these circles. It's changing my personality a little bit. I'm calming down a little bit because I want that fucking dough, you know? I hope they're not listening right now. But I'm having to calm down a little bit. And Screaming Crow was always calm. I was always a crazy one. But I'm calming down a lot because I don't want to miss any opportunities. And people get a little sensitive. You have to walk softly and carry a big stick. Be careful. But anyway, we're going to go early tonight. I need to talk to Screaming Crow. And I love y'all. And I'm so happy to be back on air. And Chris, uh, I'm so proud that you got that big deal going on. I can't wait. Marion and you and I have a board. We're going to have a big board meeting with all the board members over the next couple of weeks. I'll schedule you in along with Dr. White and Billy the Butcher, Whittier, and Scott, my super top secret guy who's building nuclear tipped missiles over there. And we'll slip you in on that board meeting. So you all take care, and I'll see you guys on air tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's going to be even better, folks. We're going to have so many bells, whistles running tomorrow night. It's going to be unbelievable Tuesday night. So until then, you guys take care. Chris, any final words before we go? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we out of here. Y'all be sweet. And this is the Lone Wolf, Screaming Crow in the background. And may the force be with you all, whoever she is. Take care.